What is going on YouTube? In this video, I'm going to share 6 things that I've learned being an entrepreneur for almost 6/7 months now since January of this year. It's been one hell of a journey, but just wanted to share down some of the things that I've learned, again, these past 6 months. So stick around. Number one thing that I've learned, and it's probably because I consume a lot of Gary Vee content, but it's patience. I'm personally not a patient person by any means possible. But what I've learned is that things don't happen overnight. You don't just quit your job one day and the next day you get a Fortune 500 client, and then the next day you hire your 30th employee, and the next day you sell your company for $1 million. If it was that easy, most people would do it. And I think fundamentally it means understanding that this takes time. But on the contrary, if you're relatively young like myself, who's 25 years old, having patience really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, right? Because I could be 10 years from now, 35 years old, and I would still consider myself to be relatively young. So if I put in the work now and I'm patient and I grind hard for the next 10 years, right, I'm still relatively young, and that's so much runway for me to do what I want to do, which is build my YouTube channel, build my agency, learn how to become a better content creator, and that comes with patience, getting 1% better every single day. Number 2, persistence. Persistence just means never giving up and keep chopping at it every single day. This is important, well, because I've learned that prospecting and getting new clients is hard. Following up with people is hard, especially when you have no credibility in the market. And so being persistent, and I think persistence can mean a lot of things. It can mean persistent with business development, right? Getting new clients, emailing clients, following up with them, cold calling them. That is persistence in itself. But I also think persistence is getting up every day and posting content, getting yourself to, like I'm doing right now, recording a YouTube video on a Saturday afternoon when I could be doing a lot of other things, but I'm hungry. I want to be consistent on social media, and so I want to be persistent. I want to push myself to be at a high level, and that comes with a lot of self-discipline, a lot of motivation, but you really need to be persistent and push yourself to be consistent and to show up every single day. Persistence. This kind of leads me to my next point. I know I kind of already alluded to this, but it's consistency. And I think if you are in the digital marketing, content creation space, consistency is everything. There are a lot of people out there that buy a lot of fancy equipment. There are a lot of people that say they're going to do something and they might do it just one day and the next day they stop. Or someone says, I really want to start a podcast. They do one episode and then they stop. And so a lot of people can do these things. A lot of people have done these things, but the amount of people that actually follow through and do it the next day and then the next day and then the next day is really low. And so it really just comes down to showing up. Half of the battle is just showing up, doing the work, waking up the next day and doing it again. I did a podcast with Brady LaRock, who's a TikTok star. You might have heard him doing those really cool impressions where he's like, the year is 2005. I love his content. And in the podcast that we had that's on this channel as well, he says that he actually gave up for 3 months. He wasn't seeing any success and he stopped for 3 months. And after those 3 months, he decided that he needed to just put in the work and do what he needed to do. And if it wasn't for him being persistent, being consistent, and continuing to post content with no success, there's no way he would have had the major success and the major following and growth that he's had, because he's shown up, because he's consistently posted content. He's consistently shown up on every regard and continues to do what he needs to do every single day. And again, half of the battle is just showing up. Number 4, one of my personal favorites, and it's having creativity. And I've really thought to myself, is creativity something that you're born with? Is creativity something that is innate? Is creativity something that you can learn? And I think a lot of people do have creative ideas. And in the marketing space, of course, there's creative ways, and there is value about being creative, but to really push yourself to think creatively. How can I do things differently? How can I do something in a different, unique way? How can I personally be unique? How can I take my job to that next level, to my mindset to that next level? Again, I'm in the content marketing, digital marketing space, and I think the most beautiful pieces of content that I've seen on social media aren't the ones with the most expensive cameras, aren't the ones with, the super awesome setups. It's the posts that are just simply the most creative, right? We look at Gary Vee, and he's grown his NFT collection, which is really nothing more than, just little doodles that he's done. And of course, NFTs is sort of like a different topic for another day, right? But he's built a community around these really fun characters like Persistence Panda and all of these other really cool themed characters, right? That's just being creative, not letting your analysis around, I need to look the best, I need to be the best, I need to only use the bougiest equipment, to stop you from just putting your ideas out into the world. I think I really do believe the most creative ideas always win at the end of the day, regardless if you film this video on an iPhone, on a Nokia, or a Canon. Okay, maybe not a Nokia. Number 5, something that I've personally sort of had some challenges around, and that's confidence. People want to hear what you have to say on the other end of this camera, that you need to genuinely believe that the work that you do is valuable. And I think it really comes to play when you're having discussions with clients around price, right? There's always going to be people who are going to negotiate your price, negotiate your terms, especially when you're new and you're starting off. But the bottom line is you need to wake up and you need to present yourself and have this posture of confidence, right? Like, I am a leader. I am a subject matter expert. I may be new, I may be a newbie, I may be a noob, right? But I'm confident in my abilities, right? In the world of digital marketing, so many businesses need help with videos. So many businesses need help with content, right? They've probably been super successful people, but the bottom line is they're not savvy when it comes to technology, with social media, with video editing. And that's something that the younger generation does. We've always grown up using technology, using our phones, using editing apps. And the reality is these skills are valuable, and someone will pay you because they see value in those skills. And it really just comes down to being confident in who you are, what value you're trying to deliver. And when someone negates, your price or your skills, you just need to be confident in your abilities. And sometimes that involves walking away or moving a different direction, but you need to be confident in the work that you're doing. Be confident in that this is a valuable market, valuable business that you've built, and that you're investing your future in. I'm investing, and I'm confident that the digital marketing, content creation, social media space is the future. And I'm confident enough to quit my job. I'm confident enough to do this. I'm confident enough to do work for free. I'm confident enough to move back home because I'm confident that this is the future. This is the medium. This is how we're all going to communicate, share ideas, and most importantly, market businesses. This is my most valuable tip. Tip number 6. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's hard. Doing hard things are hard. Doing hard things without getting paid is hard. Losing money is hard. Moving back home is hard. Starting your own business is hard. Doing things with uncertainty in the world that we live in right now with the pandemic and such is hard. But don't give up. If we look at historically, all entrepreneurs have failed. All entrepreneurs have went through hardships and challenges and just inconveniences. And if they were to have given up at those times, would they be the successful Mongols that they are now? If Travis Kalanick, the founder of Uber, didn't fail all of those times up until he started Uber, would Uber have even existed? Would he have been the one to find Uber? If Steven Spielberg gave up after the first person told him no, that he wasn't allowed on a film set or wasn't allowed on a studio, imagine what would have happened to him. And so you almost need to put yourself in these shoes. Like, well, if you quit tomorrow, what could you have missed? What could you have been? And it's almost showing you the worst case scenario of you giving up. The bottom line is, don't give up. If you think that super successful people in this world have never endured challenges and failures and almost considered giving up, well, you might be wrong. Because the bottom line is, it's inevitable. And challenges will push you to grow, push you to be faster, push you to be stronger. And in the terms of me being an entrepreneur for almost 6 months now, I get a lot of pushback from my parents who say, you need to get a job, you're gonna be 26, you're gonna run out of health insurance. If we look at my journey, I started 6 months ago, and there have been many days and nights where I feel like giving up. But my perspective is, I need to give it some time, I need to give it some runway. If I were to stop tomorrow, all of the work that I've done up until this point is a waste. So don't give up, believe and envision where you want to be, the success that you'll have, and the future that you want. And let that be the fuel of what keeps you going, because it's fucking hard. It's really, really difficult. But I promise you, if you don't give up and you keep going, only good things can come. Best of luck out there. Thanks for watching, everyone.